Okay, we're going to talk about PlayStation and Sony. I love the PlayStation 5. I absolutely love it. Look, I've got all of these games here. Yes, it could be better with first-party studios, but as we've spoken numerous times in the past, it's because of their live service push, and we've got this whole debacle with the backlog of these first-party studios underperforming. I love this generation, but yes, it could be better. 100%. We've had a lot of really bad games. A lot of bad games. Concord. I can't even think of things out of the top of my head. Like, we've got Bungie working on Marathon. I feel like that looks terrible. We've just got way too many live service pushes. We had studios like Ben Studio, Blue Point Games, and it's like they've wasted their time. Sony have said, we won't make the same mistakes again. Sony reflects on the PS5's catastrophic Concord, but it says it will not give up on live service.
On the flip side,
I wanted them to say we're moving away from live service. I want them to. Of course, they're not going to stop, for sure. Sony's vowed not to repeat the mistakes it made with the PS5's ill-fated live service Concord, saying it's reviewed its processes to deeply understand how and why the title failed to meet expectations. Why don't you just speak to your damn fans? Hey, who wants a non-binary character? Who wants a tin can or a massive overweight character? This weird storyline that you have attached to these live service games. When you play online, I want to spend as little time as possible in cutscenes. You look at Helldivers 2 and you're like, there you go. How many cutscenes are in there? Nothing. But anyway, speaking candidly as part of a choreographed investors roundtable, PS Studios' Herman Holst said he believed some really good work went to the first-person shooter. Yeah, like the gameplay was obviously good, but it was stupid, which was dramatically removed from sale in under a month. He admitted that it wasn't differentiated enough to be able to resonate with players. Also, you had the most terrible design characters as well. I don't get why they just don't hire someone like me. And I'm serious. Why can't you be like, you know what? We need someone who's got that connection to the love for PlayStation. He plays, he invests, and we need someone to have that feedback. I'm just saying the opportunity's there, Sony. He continued, we've introduced much more rigorous processes for validating our creative, commercial, and development assumptions, and now we do that on a much more ongoing basis, and that's the plan that we will ensure that we're investing in the right opportunities at the right time, all while maintaining much more predictable timelines. The ex-Guerrilla Games managing director pointed to Marathon as a title the company's taken extremely serious, and he noted that the team is currently reviewing the alpha cycle that the release just concluded so it can better understand how audiences are engaging with it. Don't you think it's mad how they're struggling to make games that resonates with their audience? Like, I don't understand how you just don't bridge the gap between your customers and your gamers and you guys. They've got so corporate that they're like, this is what I think they love. And then they pivot. Like, how can you get that wrong? If they actually would listen, I would be like, cancel Marathon, cancel Fair Games, take the loss, move on. They were like, whoa, Love Gaming Neutro. You've only been in the job at Sony for 3 weeks. And I'm like, listen, do you want to make money or not? You've just concluded so it can better understand how audience are engaging with it. Like, come on. Holst insisted that Sony will not shy away from live service despite the lessons it's been learning. It's a great opportunity for us. While enthusiasts will be fuming to read some of the quotes, it's worth remembering the vast majority of PlayStation's revenue now comes through microtransactions. And while it's scraping a lot of the money off the top of the multi-format titles like Fortnite and Genshin Impact, it wants its own money spinners where its pockets 100% of the revenue. Listen, do what you're good at. I don't understand why you just don't continue to do what you're good at, which I think they're going to pivot back. I don't understand. Just focus on your story-driven games and create DLC. Create an online game with that story-driven game. I miss the days of those things they used to do. Now, you don't have to do it as much as a live service push because you don't want that studio forever providing content, or you do, but can they do both? So it looks like they are going to be still focused on live service games, although they definitely are going to be pivoting back to story-driven games because that's what made them who they were in the beginning. I'll make it work, don't worry. But they also spoke now about the next generation, which I know it sounds really weird. I know it's weird that they're talking about the PS6. It's obvious that they would be focusing on the next generation, although I really hope the PS6, if it's a console, if it's a handheld, we've got rumors, I really freaking hope it's not till 2030. I think this generation needs to freaking carry on. It needs to last. I don't think a lot of people would be buying into the PS6. I don't know what it could be. I personally feel like it's 2025 now. Potentially in 2027, we could get it. Would I feel different in 2 years? I'm like, I feel like I've invested so much into this generation that what, I'm going to drop $1,000 on another console. And I'm like, well, it's most likely going to be cross-gen. Let's be honest. It's going to be cross-gen. There's no way you'll be releasing just games on the PS6. Maybe a few, but you look at all the other games that are still coming out on PS4. I wouldn't mind 2028, 29. I'm going to go more for 2030. I feel like this can last. So Sony talks PS6 and next-gen plans with a hint at a new portable console. So this is what we heard. So Sony has discussed its next generation plans for PS6, which seems to include some kind of handheld. Now, I don't really like the sound of this because I gave this a brief read. There's still a sense the PS5 generation has barely begun. I do feel like that due to the lack of exclusive games and the amount of people still playing last gen. I thought you said Last of Us. Still playing on last gen hardware. The amount of people still playing on last gen hardware, but Sony has its eyes firmly set on the next generation. Sony Interactive Entertainment's new president, CEO, Hideaki Nishino, was asked various questions about the future of PlayStation during a recent business presentation. And this is what he said. After highlighting how Sony has experimented with cloud gaming since the PS3 generation, Nishino explained how he believes the majority of players will still want to play games through local execution due to the instability of online connections. So that's still through local. I would definitely be investing my money into physical releases. The business model for cloud gaming must be sustainable for the long-term growth. Cloud gaming is progressing well from a technical standpoint. We have demonstrated with these offerings, but end-to-end network stability is not in our control. And the higher the cost per playtime compared to the traditional console model remains a challenge. I don't like the sound of this because I don't really like cloud gaming. Now, I know I bought the Portal and I've been playing it around the house and I've been obviously playing my PS5. And I have streamed some of the games that you get with the premium membership, and it is amazing. Don't get me wrong, it is freaking amazing, and the connection is actually better than when you are basically using remote play to play your PlayStation 5. But I just don't like the way we're going, and I'm definitely someone who would be much more careful with my money. I wouldn't just be buying games here and there if I don't feel like I own them. They're digital only, they're streaming. That's just me in general. I know there will be other people that disagree with me. Cloud gaming is increasing, providing additional options for players to access content, but our belief is that the majority of players continue to want to experience gaming through local execution without dependency on local network conditions. Well, they got something right. And the PS5 and the PS5 Pro have validated these theses, I believe. Oh yeah, 100%. Like, if you go all digital, you will rule out a hell of a lot of people. There is no way you will get the same sort of numbers. That's just me personally. That's partly why, even though this is not a Nintendo Switch, I bought the Switch back, you know, that was actually, I got that first, and then I obviously got the PS5 later on, a couple years later. But that's partly why, even with the Switch, I was like debating like ages ago, but after seeing what they're doing with the game, key cards, ownership, I just feel like there's not many games for me personally that I'm going to want for a secondary console, but also it just doesn't entice me to spend X amount of money on something that's a game key card, or I have to download the game. It's just, I don't really care to buy it. So you will be neglecting a lot of people who don't want that. So Sony didn't share any details about its next console, but it is at the top of mind at the company. Our console business has evolved into a multifaceted platform, and we now have a large ecosystem of highly engaged players across both PS5 and PS4. So naturally, therefore, there's a huge interest in our next generation console strategy. Yes, for sure. Whilst we cannot share further details, the future of the platform is top of mind. So we are committed to exploring a new and enhanced ways for players to engage in our content and services. So this is definitely where I think they're going with the PS Portal, or that was kind of like a test as well, and I think it did a lot better than what they thought. So I will not be surprised if you're going to see a PS6 console, a PS6 Portal device, or something like that, or PS Vita 2, something like that. It won't be called that. I think that's definitely on the cards. With game prices going up, you really think I want to drop 70, 80 pounds on a game that I don't have the box? I don't feel like I'm owning. Remember years ago, what did they say? Didn't they say with digital media, you know, gaming will get cheaper? Look at the games now. Look at Nintendo. Digital games, and yet prices have gone up. And now you have the opportunity to do DLC, microtransactions. So it's like you were just chatting rubbish. I get it that it is getting more expensive because of development costs, all of that. They've become more than movies, but they said that back in the day. So the PS Portal is part of our strategy to offer more flexibility playstyles. When we invested in the PS Portal, we wanted to ensure that any handheld device we created would be able to provide players with the full PlayStation experience that they have come to expect through our consoles. And I have to say, I absolutely love the PS Portal, much more than when I thought, because when I first thought about where is my Portal? Oh, it's in the other room. It's in the bedroom. When I first saw it, I thought, no, I want a dedicated handheld. I think it's amazing. Taking it abroad, playing it around the house, and the quality is absolutely amazing. Obviously, if you've got a good internet connection. We want to ensure games look good when played on handhelds. The smartphone is too small screen for high fidelity. So I wanted to approach portable gaming via streaming, which led to the PS Portal. I think it's a great thing. Listen, I'm not going to diss everything they're doing. Currently, the Portal owners spend 30% more time playing and later into the evening. It's showing the impact the Portal has had on the patterns. The play pattern sales are progressing steadily, and more importantly, it has unlocked additional engagement across our player base. So we remain committed to explore new ways for players to access our content and services. And it's true, because sometimes Els is like, can you come, let's come down, spend some time. I'm like, let me bring my Portal. Or with people with kids, I heard loads of you in the Discord or on chat where you're like, with kids, they take care, or my wife is taking over the TV. Boom, the Portal is perfect. It gives me an opportunity to just play games and not need the TV as well. So there is a lot of good in this. Rumors suggest it could launch with 2 variants. Wow. Namely, a home console, which I would be more inclined to, and a portable device. Now, that's interesting. That's very interesting. And I think with Xbox, what they're doing with their streaming, Game Pass, with their new handheld that I heard is like maybe going to be $1,000. This could be a good strategy. It claimed the Portal will have AI upscaling and 1/3 of the overall memory bandwidth of the PS5. It's claimed that the Portal will also have 16 gigabytes of RAM, along with 4 megabyte L2 cache, a second tier of memory. Not that I know anything what this is. So it's only talked about its next generation, where it suggested that the console will improve other elements beyond graphics. Technology is constantly evolving, so I think there's still more we can do. With the PS5, we've shortened loading times by switching from the hard disk drive using the PS4 to the SSD. The sound can now be heard more 3-dimensionally through the PS5 controller speakers, enhancing the sense of immersion. Visual accuracy is important, but the big question is, what can Sony do to convince PS5 players to jump ship to the next generation, which could arrive as early as 2027. Wow, that is so early. I would hope by then I'm a full-time YouTuber, or, I've helped myself get to full-time, and I would invest to obviously build this channel. But to know that in 2 years, there could be a new generation, I feel like we're just, maybe it's because of the lack of games or first-party games we've got, guys, but I absolutely love the PS5. I'm not going to lie, and I get it, people are the same, or they say about the games, but I love the console overall, the 3D audio, the DualSense is like the best controller I've ever had. And personally, because I'm a PS5 enthusiast, I have invested in a PS5 Pro. And it's crazy to know, with the prices you've just said, Jacob, as well, it's crazy how much this next generation, and if it's close to 1,000, you're not going to get the same sales numbers. There's no way. So it's hard to know what their strategy is going to be. I feel like it's going to be very important what they do, because think about it, guys. It's like on that PS6, just imagine you've got Bloodborne 2, Days Gone 2. They've got the best lineup of story-driven games. That will be one way to flipping market that new console. But the problem is, even if they do, if you drop in it, like, who's going to drop £1,000? Not the everyday person can drop £1,000 on a damn console. I just remember when I was a kid, and I've said numerous times, I nearly got an Xbox because the PS3 was too expensive. And then all of a sudden I waited for some reason, and they brought out a cheaper version. I think it had less memory. Now, for me, I probably will still get one, because this is the only way I play my games. And I know people find it weird that I don't have a PC, don't want one, don't even want to play Steam games, even if they're cheaper or whatever. I'm in Sony's ecosystem at the minute. It's weird. When I was younger, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, they could just keep getting better. But now, because graphics are getting really good and things are getting very expensive, you can't just drop that sort of money. So what would the PS6 look like?